Hi, welcome back. I'm glad you could join us for today. This is Selling Art on Your Own Terms. My name is Ponka, and I'll be your host for today's lesson on what commission type should you choose. Seth Godin once said, if you try to serve everyone, you end up serving no one. Everyone is not your customer. Well, what does he mean by that? When people try to sell art, they tend to want to prove something of themselves, to show how flexible they are in art forms, and oftentimes it leads to artists oversaturating their products and not having an actual aim. So let's look at an example. Here is Jason. Hi Jason. Jason is great at doing anime style art commissions, but he doesn't shy away from offering to do arts in a more realistic style. Jason thinks to himself, if I sprinkle my expertise and show a wide range of talents, it would attract a larger group of people. But is that really the case? Jason, you want me to be completely honest with you? This is actually hurting your profile more than helping. Have you heard of the term jack of all trades, master of none? If I was a buyer, I would look for someone who actually knows what they're doing. Having a high variety in your posted work is not as credible as you might think. Sorry, Jason. But now, what should Jason have done? One of two ways. The first is to mesh these two styles into something completely new and kickstart a new era of art. Or, and I recommend this one, to just pick one side and stay on it. There are exactly 8 types of online art products that you can sell. Each one requires a completely different level of experience and targets a different buyer persona. Let's break down the menu to see where your art fits. Number 1. Standard art commissions. We have the baseline over here. This includes your bread and butter products like icon, busts, half bodies, full bodies, and anything within that aspect of art. If you're drawing fan art of an existing like anime or a game character, it should fall around right here. Number 2 is going to be character designs and reference sheets. This is where a client commission you to build a brand new character completely from scratch. This is going to be a higher level from the previous one because it requires you to actually have the skills to build an effective character. Believe me, creating an original design is a lot harder than drawing a character that already exists. The third one are add-on, or commonly known as adoptables. These are characters that you can design yourself independently based on your own ideas and choices, and you get to offer your own fixed prices, or even if you're successful enough, or if you build up a good rapport, then you might be able to put them on an auction. While this model primarily thrives when you have a moderate following, it can also run alongside your standard commissions with absolutely zero workflow friction. 4 is splash art and cinematic illustrations. These are like full background assisted artworks that crosses over into professional production works. This model sits on a higher experience scale because it requires a solid baseline of knowledge on composition, scene arrangement, and background environments, in which the background part of this is very crucial. 5 is book covers or novel covers. Now, this is what people usually think of traditional art-related career paths with a long-term commercial longevity, because this is the standard format that they picture. Usually, it involves working with authors and publishers to create a very definitive visual face of a written project. 6 is VTuber or streamer assets. This is a very high value category where commission packages regularly ranges from $1,000 to $3,000 depending on the exact amount of assets, emotes overlay, or precise 3D or 2D layer separation required for the project. If you have seen the VTuber 3D models, yeah, this falls into that category, and I think you can imagine how much work needs to be put into them. Number 7 is animated works. These projects are very frequently executed through the Your Character Here basis, where you create a standardized animation loop or a template, like an animation meme, and a client pays to have their specific characters drawn into that active base, whether they are OCs or existing characters. Number 8, webcomics and webtoons. If you have a solid original concept, or if you get permissions to adapt an author's existing novel, you can commit a long-term sequential projects such as this. Out of all the other options, this path offers the most stable, recurring commission income, but in return, it requires a personal drive to sustain a long-form project over time. Now, before you click over to the next lesson, you have a direct assignment to complete. Open your primary social media profile on the current portfolio page now, and we are going to put your public presence through a diagnostic check. First, what I want you to do is test the 3-second rule. If a complete stranger drops onto your page, then they immediately tell that your commissions are open and see exactly what kind of products you offer. If they have to scroll through your personal rants or random sketches to figure out if you sell custom character sheets, you fail the test. Second, want you to check your link friction. Count the exact number of clicks it takes to go from your bio to your actual pricing and terms. If a client has to click a link, navigate a landing page, open a secondary menu, and open a Google Doc, you are losing buyers. It should take 2 clicks maximum. And third, clean out the dead space. Look at your pinned posts. If they feature a piece of art from 2 years ago that does not represent your current skill level, unpin it. You have an obligation to keep things updated and running. Have you ever had a potential client ask for your rates but never actually bought anything? One of the things you would want to do is to actually diagnose exactly why they ghosted you. Did you end the conversation with the vague statement like, "Let me know if you're interested," or "Just hit me up whenever"? If you did, you have killed the transaction. You left the administrative burden on the client, and clients are lazy. A business transaction requires a clear directive. Your final message should always present a direct binary choice like, "I have an opening this Friday or next Monday. Which time slot works better for your sketch?" Secondly, notice the tone you're using when you're speaking to them. Have you been using very informal tones or overly formal tones? Depending on the type of image you're trying to curate on your profile, you might need to switch around and do the opposite. Sometimes customers do prefer it if the whole business transaction seems like a more serious endeavor to them. So go read your messages, identify where you lost control of the conversation, and try to fix them. The only way you could get better and improve is by actively learning from your own mistakes. And that is all we have for today. There's absolutely no rush to get every single setting perfect today. Please focus on making sure your pipeline is a little bit more structured than it was yesterday. Take your time with the assignment, look after your energy, and whenever you are ready, I will be right here waiting for you in the next lesson.